Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
The Royals came into Progressive Field with an opposite field approach last night, and that plan led to a win to start this three-game series. To even it up, the Indians are going to have to tighten the D and step up on offense in order to beat KC. Trevor Bauer's ready to put up his dukes as he takes the mound next on Sports Time Ohio. Oh, what a difference a little sunshine and maybe 10 degrees in the mercury can make. Everybody's feeling a lot better about baseball in downtown Cleveland tonight. Indians and Royals, it's game 2 of their 3-game series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Banning. Tribe will try to get back in the win column tonight. To do so, they're going to have to try to find a way to slow down this Kansas City club that's surging. They're at the top of the statistics in terms of offense and in terms of pitching. But when you break down the way they're swinging the bats, Rick, it looked like they made a concerted effort to take the ball the other way last night.
They had a great game plan against Corey Kluber. First of all, Kluber was great against them last year, so they were going to come in, they were going to be aggressive. They were not going to let him get ahead of them and put him away, but the approach was outstanding. They had 13 hits, 10 of them going up the middle or the other way. Actually, most of them going the other way. And I'll tell you, they made Kluber back up. They had a great approach. They got key hits when needed. They had 13 hits in total. Their offense looked very good.
Trevor Bauer gets the start tonight for the Indians. He was scheduled to pitch Saturday in Detroit before illness knocked him out of that start. But other than getting sick, he's been unstoppable so far this year.
Yeah, he has been really great moving everything around. He's had some problems earlier in the game locating that fastball, but he settles in. He hasn't allowed an earned run in the first 5 innings of any start, and he needs to do that again tonight. Come back out, be yourself. Hopefully he's going to be strong. He'll be matched up against former Indian Jeremy Guthrie, 1-1 this year and a 5.50 ERA, and you can see against the Indians he was 1-2 last year.
All right, so we'll see if the Tribe can even the series up at a game apiece. We're back with the play-by-play in tonight's first pitch. It's coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to We are just about ready for baseball here at Progressive Field. Indians-Royals, Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 19 on the year for Cleveland. They need to get it going at 6-12 on the year, dead last in the American League Central Division. Kansas City at 13-6, playing well, just a half game in back of front-running Detroit in the AL Central. So we'll see if the Indians can get it going here tonight. You know, sometimes when things aren't going well, you got to close ranks and air things out. Let's go down to Andre Knott. Did they have a little closed-door session?
There was a closed-door session last night that had Terry Francona as part of it, and he basically wanted to tell the guys, hey, it's time to minimize the mistakes and go out and play baseball the way that we know how to play it. The one other thing that he said was, look, we can't start looking at the standings and go, man, we've got to win 8 of our next 10 or 9 of our next 10. He said the best way to fix this is go out and play good tonight, then worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes along. And he told a story. When he was in Boston, they had a time where they were struggling the year they won their first World Series, and they went through April at about 2-10. And before he knew it, because they came here and he was the same manager every day, he said they took off and won like 80 or 40, went 80 and 40. He's just trying to relax his team and remind these guys there's a reason why they're here, and everybody within this building believes in them. Enjoy the game, play it the right way, was the basic message that Terry Francona wanted to get to his team after last night's loss.
Rick, it's a hard enough game to play when things are going well. If you're adding pressure to I have to, that's going to make it a lot harder,
and
isn't it?
It sure is, and that's why it's a team game. You pick up everybody, you believe in your teammates, you trust in your teammates. That's part of the process as the year goes on. You've got to believe in everybody, you fight together, and that's something they're going to have to start doing. Don't worry, if you don't do it, your teammate will do it, and believe in him, and he will.
Well, I tell you one thing, we're a lot better in terms of atmospheric conditions than we were 24 hours ago at this time. 54 degrees will be our game time temperature tonight. Not much of a breeze. It's going to be cool again. But, boy, just the sight of the sunshine makes it a whole lot better than it was yesterday.
It was damp and it was very cold last night. So it'll be starting in sunshine now at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, I think it is much better.
And, of course, the Indians will have Trevor Bauer on the hill tonight. He became very ill before his start Saturday against Detroit. He tried to give it a go, but as he went out to try to get through his pregame warm-up routine, it was very evident he was not going to be able to do it. So he's been sucking down a lot of that fluid that you see there and trying to get himself ready to go for tonight. And certainly that's a good sight to see. And former Indian Jeremy Guthrie will get the start for the Royals. A very humble young man who made it to the big leagues with Cleveland out of Stanford University. Seems like a long time ago now.
Yeah, it does.
But, he's done a nice job with his career.
Yeah.
Went to Baltimore.
He's in the final year of his contract here in Kansas City. He signed back in 2012. So you're right. He's carved out a really nice career for himself.
And, of course, this Kansas City ball club went to the World Series last year, lost to San Francisco. I really believe this is a club, and I don't know that anybody will admit this publicly, I believe that internally this is a club that said, okay, national media, you want to pick Cleveland, you want to pick Detroit, you want to pick Chicago, you want to forget about us, that's fine, we're going to show you. I think you can talk about what you want with the beanballs and some of the shenanigans. I think they're a team that's playing with an edge, with a chip on their shoulder, just because everybody forgot they were the team that won the American League pennant last year.
And you know what? Good for them. I mean, that's how they want to take it on and how they want to perceive it. That's great. That's motivation for them. And they are a very loose bunch right now, and they're playing the game. You can see the energy they have, and boy, I'll tell you what, keep them down early. They turn it into a 6-inning game as well as any team in baseball right now.
Well, one of the challenges for Trevor Bauer tonight will be to contain the T-Mobile Game Changer, and he's been a game changer for this Kansas City lineup. They've been waiting a long time, and Mike Moustakas is off to a fantastic start this year, batting .342 overall. He had a 159 through the first 19 games last year. And we know when you get off to a slow start, it seems like it takes forever to get those numbers back to where you want them. He's got off to a fast start, and I think that's a big reason why Kansas City is rolling. It's not a one-man gang, but he's a very important member of that ball club. Trevor Bauer going to heat it up now for the Tribe. Let's take a look at the starting lineup he will face for Ned Yost's Kansas City Royals, presented by Toyota. Alcides Escobar, 0 for 5 last night, will lead it off. Then it's Moustakas, followed by Lorenzo Cain. Eric Hosmer is hitting cleanup. Kendry Morales, a switch hitter, bats fifth. Alex Gordon batting 6th. You see he's starting to heat it up. Salvador Perez 7th. Omar Infante 8th. And Gerard Dyson will bat 9th.
Our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the game tonight will be Trevor Bauer, making his 4th start. We mentioned he missed his last start due to some illness. He was sick, maybe something he ate. Missed the start in Detroit, so it'll be an extra 3 days since his last start. And it was a good one in Chicago where he went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, did not allow a run. It was that ball game where he came out, they were leading 3-0 going into the 9th, and the bullpen gave it up. So he should be 3-0, and he's been outstanding. Through the first 5 innings, has not allowed an earned run. And Trevor Bauer in his career 0-1 against Kansas City in 3 starts last year, and that's it for his career. Let's check out the defense brought to you by Chrysler behind Bauer this evening. It stacks up this way. Brantley will be in left. Michael Bourne in center. Brandon Moss over in right. Chisenhall get back in there tonight at third base. Ramirez at short. Kipnis is at second. Santana at first. Brett Hayes doing the catching.
Andy Fletcher will be behind the plate tonight. Jerry Meals is the crew chief. Paul Emmels at second. Jordan Baker down at third. So we're ready to go now as Trevor Bauer seeks to run his record to 3-0, and this is 4th start of the year. Now Alcides Escobar will lead it off, and I think the one thing we'll keep an eye on and something we'll want to see is what kind of early command does Bauer have? He's pitching on the extra rest. Pitchers are they're so much a creature of habit. Every 5 days you're in your routine, so he's out of his routine. Will that have any effect on him whatsoever?
Well, you remember in his first few starts, his command with the fastball has been rough in the first few innings.
First pitch strike in there to Alcides Escobar.
But he's been able to reel it in because he's always been a pitcher that can command off-speed pitches when he's behind in the count.
Smash to third. Lonnie Chisenhall stays with it and throws out Escobar, 1 away. Here are the keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. And for the Indians, match the KC Energy. For Trevor Bauer, can he pitch effectively inside? And obviously, when you're facing Kansas City, their bullpen is very good, so you don't want to have to try to play from behind.
Yeah, not only is their bullpen good, but offensively, they've scored as many runs as anybody from the 7th inning on.
Mike Moustakas takes a strike. Questions about early command don't seem to be an issue. 3 pitches, 3 strikes for Bauer. And there's just a line drive to left field, and Moustakas just making it look easy.
Remember I said I was wondering how they were going to play him again tonight when they come out here after he had 4 hits and went the other way so well? Well, you go right ahead. He's not trying to pull a baseball. He's got a sweet swing working right now. A ball going down and away. And now look at the defense. They used to have 3 over there yesterday. Now there's 2 and they're moving over. But he keeps hitting it that way, and he's going to be back to normal. Boy, he was always a dead pull hitter, and that's what hurt him. I mean, they thought he was going to do this last year. They sent him to winter ball and the minor leagues, and he said he has it figured out. Well, he didn't. It looks like he does now.
Lorenzo Cain will bat with 1 on, 1 out. High pop. Might be playable. Let's see. Will it stay in play? Long run to the railing? No. About 5 rows deep. Moustakas, the runner at first base, does have a steal this year. He's also been caught once. He's one of the guys you don't really think of as one of the running Royals, though.
But you don't forget about him, because if you do, then they'll send him. They know what they're doing. He's not a base stealer. But you just have to pay attention to him occasionally.
Hit to center field, and Michael Bourne circling under it. will make the grab, 2 down. How much of a team's running game depends more on how guys handle the bat as opposed to how fast they are on bases?
Well, with Moustakas up there, you've got Kane and Hosmer, your 3-4 guys. He's not going anywhere. You know, when they, like I said, if you don't pay attention to him, you come set, you go home, you come set, he'll take off if they know they can do it. That's with the first base coach over there. And you've got your guys that you can hit and run. There's certain times you want to leave the left-hander the hole over there. You get to know it throughout when you have a set lineup, and these guys have been playing long enough together, and they're aggressive. They have certain counts that they can run in, I'm sure.
Pitch out here, but nothing doing.
You see, I would, to me, Moustakas is not a base stealer, so why pitch out? He's going to give Hosmer the hole here for 2 outs. If he gets buried in the count, then they may want to send him.
Hosmer taking all the way. It's in there for a strike. 1-1. Hosmer, couple of hits last night. Quick toss over to first, and Moustakas diving
there
back.
You go. You just throw over occasionally. Let them know you're thinking about them.
Now 1-1 pitch jammed him, and he didn't hit it hard, but it's going to drop in right field. Moss scoops it up quickly. Moustakas stopping at second base, so 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, you can tell by the sound of the bat it got inside on him, and it looked like it was a little slider in. These guys are strong. Hosmer's a strong guy, and he just muscles that one in. He didn't get it in quite enough, but it still wasn't a bad pitch. He fights it off, gets it in front of Moss, so the 2 left-handers keep the inning going. Second hit for Kansas City, and they'll have an opportunity now with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
Well, Kenry Morales, 1 for 5 last night. Quick throw back to second base, and Moustakas in safely. Tell you what's crazy. You notice Moustakas, he's got the batting gloves in his pocket. Hosmer's still wearing his. I would think when it's cold like this, especially, that dirt's hard. You rip up your hands going head first sliding.
Don't want to get your batting gloves dirty, man. As hot as they are.
Chop to first. Don't you have sliding gloves and batting gloves?
If you're a base stealer, you do.
No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. Indians coming to bat when we come back. Look at that. That guy's ready to brawl with the Royals here tonight.
He was watching TV last night.
Guy in a chicken suit's got him on, too. Beautiful. Here's the Royals, or the Indians starting lineup, presented by Progressive Insurance for Terry Francona tonight. Kipnis, Ramirez, and Brantley. Then it's Santana, Moss, and Murphy, Chisenhall, Hayes, and Bourne. 8 left-handed bats in there tonight.
The Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Royals is Jeremy Guthrie. Jeremy's 1-1 with a .550 to this point. He's given up 19 hits in 18 innings. He's walked 7, struck out 7, and has allowed 4 home runs.
And a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
Jeremy, a guy that'll change speeds. He'll cut it, sink it. He'll do whatever he can, but he can leave some middle of the plate. That's why he's given up 4 home runs.
Bouncer to first base. Hosmer will flip it to Guthrie. 1 away.
The KC defense will be brought to you by Chrysler. Tonight, it looks like this. Gordon in left, Kane in center, Dyson in right, same as last night. Moustakas at third, Escobar at short, Fonte at second, Hosmer at first. Perez doing the catching.
We saw Jeremy Guthrie after his last start against Minnesota. We saw him in Chicago before we left town. The Royals had just arrived. He wasn't feeling real good about his last start. He walked 6 and allowed 6 hits in his 5 innings against Minnesota. That's not normally the kind of guy you think of. You don't think of him as a guy that walks a lot of people or nibbles. It's just one of those days.
Well, with the cold weather that's been around, they don't use it as an excuse. But, it's not easy to throw your pitches when it's a little slicker and you're a cutter or breaking ball, a field type of pitcher. You're not a power and try and blow everybody away with a good hard fastball. You need movement and you need some feel for that, and you like moisture to get on the baseball.
That's a tough strike call for Jose Ramirez. Check this out.
Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Yeah, that's low. His knee started up at his ankle tonight.
The 2-2. Golfs that one foul out of play.
Well, and that forces you to swing at that pitch. When you get one called down there, you're going to expand your zone if you see something low. You don't want it to go again, so you're wise to stay down there.
And that's fouled out of play. Ramirez was 0 for 3 last night. And he's going to get punched out.
Well, that's the old comeback fastball, a lot like Corey Kluber had last night, and the left-handers give up on it. Watch where it starts in around the right hip, and then you'll see it comes back in over the plate. That's really a good pitch. I mean, and it's easy to say it's not coming back, but you can see where Perez catches it. It's a pretty darn good pitch. I agree with that first one that was low, but that was a good pitch.
Well, Michael Brantley will bat with 2 down and the bases empty. He's 0 for 2 with 2 walks against Kansas City pitching so far this year. And he lines one to right center field. Brantley gaps it. He's headed to second base, and he'll go in standing with his 5th double of the year. And Brantley just keeps on hitting.
Well, Michael gets his pitch, and he gets on top of it, and he doesn't foul it off. He's not missing it. You watch, there's a fastball right there. He drops ahead and hits it in the gap in right center field. Good hitters, when they get a pitch that they can handle, they don't miss it. They put it in play, and they hit it hard somewhere, and Michael does that right there. 150th career double for Michael.
And a 2-out runner in scoring position now for Carlos Santana. Santana didn't have a real good night last night. Carlos went 0 for 4.
Last night
twice he had runners in scoring position and did not come through.
they had great opportunities to hit in. They had 11 full counts. They were 2 for 8, and they walked 3 times. They had 7 2-0 counts. They were only 1 for 4, but the home run came in that 2-0 count, and they walked 3 times.
Bouncer to first, it stays fair, and the flip will end the inning. No runs ahead, a man left. We are scoreless after 1. No scores. We go to the second inning. Each team threatening, but neither team able to drive in that first run of the game in inning number 1. So here in the second, hitters 6, 7, and 8 due up for Kansas City. That's Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, Omar Infante. Trevor Bauer threw 11 pitches in the first inning. 9 of those pitches were for strikes.
Gordon had the big base hit in yesterday's game to break the 2-2 tie on a nice approach going to left field, first and third. Remember, he stayed on the baseball. They put on a clinic last night.
Indians shift for Gordon. Chisenhall tries to take away the hole on the left side, playing almost halfway between third and short. Two balls, no strikes. That ball's hit a long way. Deep right field. Moss going to watch it sail out of here. Deep into the lower deck.
Boy, that's the first home run given up by Trevor Bauer this year, and it was a long one, and it's the first run he's allowed in the first 5 innings.
Gordon with his third home run of the season, his 10th run batted in. And the Royals will play with the lead tonight as they jump out 1-0.
Right into the wheelhouse. His third of the year.
Well, here is Salvador Perez.
You know, you hear the sound of that bat there, and when it leaves the bat, you don't feel a thing. He hit that ball pure. Two 2-0. The count on Perez.
Bauer drops an off-speed pitch in for a strike.
That's what he's very good at. Even if he's behind, he's a young guy that can throw that off-speed pitch in there for a strike and take hitters off the 2-0 heater.
There's a 3-1 now to Perez. And he lifts it to right field. In comes Moss. One down. Our Kia in the driver's seat, focusing on Trevor Bauer here tonight. This season, coming into tonight's ballgame, he'd given up just 8 hits in 19 innings of work, averaging better than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. And a good start to his career on home turf with just a 3.41 ERA and 17 starts.
Yeah, if you remember, it took Trevor a while to get that first road win. He went through about 8 or 9 starts, I believe. Maybe his 10th start before he got his first road win. But his stuff plays in every ballpark now. Nice change.
Lonnie Chisenhall with a good feed across the diamond, 2 down.
Well, get live Indians baseball all season long with the MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio, broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Just download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
2 down now for Gerard Dyson. Bunts it high in the air. Santana goes to a dive, and it's off the tip of his glove. Just couldn't reel it in. And so it's a strike for Dyson as he'll go back to home plate and try again.
It looked like it went right off the end of the glove. He's back, and boy, that'd be a free out there. Dyson saying, please get down, get down. By the time Santana gets there, he just can't hold on. Almost like it pushed it out of the glove. Just didn't quite get there. He needed another inch or two to get that big pancake first baseman glove underneath it.
So a 1-1 count for Dyson. Man, a good breaking ball. You could see he was fooled. Swung over the top. Now the 1-2. Fastball brushed him back a little bit. And a changeup fooled him badly. Bauer gets his first strikeout. But Gordon gets the game's first run with his 3rd homer of the season. 1-0 Kansas City. Kansas City as we go down to the bottom of the second inning. Brandon Moss going to lead it off. Then it's David Murphy, followed by Lonnie Chisenhall. See if the left-handed bats can get going here in inning number 2. It was Michael Brantley from the left side who wrapped a double to right center in the first inning. Brandon Moss, 5 out of 12 in his career with a couple of home runs against Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, Guthrie knows that he has hit him before. He came with a 2-0 changeup.
Threw it away, and Moss is safe at first. Alcides Escobar with the shift on. He's playing second base essentially now.
And I think that was the difference in that flip, Matt, because you're right. He was on the right side of the infield. And after he tops this 2-0 changeup, he's got to make the underhand flip, and he's so much closer to first base here than he is over at the shortstop side. It's a wide throw, so I'm sure it'll go as a base hit. He was out of position, but that's how they play Moss. 3 on the right side. So infield single, leadoff man aboard.
And that'll give David Murphy a chance. Murphy 0 for 2 last night, came on as a pinch hitter. Normally, he's a guy that feasts here at home. Career 300 hitter at Progressive Field. Lifted to left. And Alex Gordon barely has to move. 1 down. Today's Levin player profile is on Jeremy Guthrie, who was the Tribe's first-round pick. 22nd overall selection back in 2002 out of Stanford. And after Cleveland, he went to Baltimore, to Colorado, and then on to Kansas City. He's also become quite an ambassador for baseball. He's gone on behalf of Major League Baseball to several foreign countries to teach the game of baseball. As that ball is plugged to left center field by Lonnie Chisenhall, and Moss stops at second base. He had a good jump. Moss was raring and ready to go to third, but again, it's Gordon out there in left field. He's very good, terrific throwing arm, so Moss thought wisely and stopped at second.
I like the at-bat here by Chisenhall. Gets a pitch up, but that's away off the plate, and he just stayed on it and slaps it the other way. Good swing. Nice approach. Base hit. There's a lot of hits going that way. He left that ball up, even though I think it was off the plate. It might not have been a strike, but he gets a base knock.
Well, now here's Brett Hayes. And he takes a strike. Hayes just 1 out of 7 in his time with the Indians. No question, though, the Indians are looking for some production from the catching position. And Hayes lines it into the glove of second baseman Omar Infante for out number 2. Almost punched it through the right side of the infield, but instead 2 down, and they'll leave it up to Michael Bourne.
See that ball hit? It was a soft liner. It's off the end of the bat. Look at him. He's looking to see where the ball is. He's looking up in the air. He thought he popped it up, and then he sees a soft liner going to second.
Well, here's Michael Bourne. He was 1 for 4 with a double last night. Double came in his first at-bat, and he hit it a long way over the head of Lorenzo Cain, just to the left of straightaway center. Pitch outside.
Indians 0 for 7 last night with runners in scoring position. And this has been a tough one to go for the offense. First pitch strikes, he's done well, 8 and 9, something that you like to see as a pitcher.
Guthrie taking his time. Now he's ready. And the 1-2 to Bourne is fouled back. Perez going to go out and have a word with Guthrie.
Well, maybe his approach coming to Bourne. Guthrie, a guy, just showed him the fastball away. After you get ahead, he teases him. You know, he's not going to throw him that good fastball for a strike. He just wants to see if he gets him to chase it. But Bourne did a good job of fouling it off. And now I think Perez wants to go out there and see what they want to do and how they want to get him out in the rest of this sequence.
Two on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Down and in. Bourne shuffles the feet. And it's 2-2. Boy, Lorenzo Cain really pulled over in center field over toward left, trying to take away that opposite field gap. And Gordon way over toward the line and left.
Remember that pitch he threw to Ramirez. See if he follows it up. He went down, back foot, cutter. If he tries to throw that fastball in at the hip and sneak it inside.
Through a breaking ball in the dirt, gets away, and both runners will move up. Moss to third, Chisenhall to second on the wild pitch.
Wild pitch that looked like a cutter to me. And normally you don't get a ball past this guy behind home plate. There's the grip. You can see it had some spin to it. And you can see he just tries to, he comes up. That ball just sneaks under the glove. He thought he had it blocked and it was going to take a little hop up, and it did not. So now with a base hit, the Indians have a chance to take the lead here with 2 outs.
Now the 3-2. And a line drive base hit into right field. Moss scores the tying run. Chisenhall to the plate. Dyson's throw not in time. And the Indians take the lead.
There you go.
Michael Bourne delivers a 2-out, 2-run single to right field.
Now, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And anytime you get a 2-out base hit and you come back and you answer the run they put on the board, it was another breaking ball out over the plate. It gives Bourne some swinging room. He drives it into right field. Moss, Chisenhall come in to score. You got to love that. And you know what? That's a man that needed a hit over there at first base. Needed that hit, and it's a big 2-out base hit to give his team the lead.
Perez blocks this ball in the dirt as Kipnis watches it for ball 1. Well, the Indians able to respond quickly here tonight. Kipnis looks, it's down low. Jason, 2 hits and 4 trips last night. Bourne takes off. Pitches low. The throw, not in time. I don't think I've ever seen a base stealer slide as late as Michael Bourne does. It almost looks like he launches himself into the base before he actually starts his slide.
You know, that's dangerous because those bases are hard and they're stuck into the ground. And watch, it is a late slide, but he wanted to get there. And you come up over there, you hit your knee or shin on the corner of that bag, and I'm telling you, it hurts. But Bourne gets his second stolen base.
He stole that bag like he was mad at it. And a 3-0 count for Kipnis now with Jose Ramirez waiting on deck. 22 out of 33 pitches for strikes so far from Guthrie. That one's well off the mark. Fourth Indian to reach here in the second inning. And the seventh man to bat will be Jose Ramirez.
Well, the Tribe will take on the Minnesota Twins. That'll be Friday, May 8th, and you can save on tickets. You can buy lower box or lower reserve tickets by May 4th, and you'll save 24%. This offer is available only at Indians.com/buy early.
Ramirez called out on strikes his first time up, goes after the first pitch, sends it to center field, and Lorenzo Cain makes the grab. But Michael Bourne delivers in the clutch here in inning number 2, and the Indians take a 2-1 lead.
Two-story bar with our $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio. The new bar is the best place in town to grab a cold one. And with the district ticket, your first drink is on us. Just go to Indians.com.
Top of the order for Kansas City here in inning number 3. Now Alcides Escobar to lead it off. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Down low. The Indians' starting rotation has averaged better than 11 strikeouts per 9 innings coming in, which is by far the best in the game. But the ERA doesn't jibe. The ERA at 4.5 is 6th highest in the American League. So strikeouts, while they're fun and you enjoyed it and seeing them, it doesn't always equate to dominance or success.
No, the strikeouts, they're just an out, whether, depending on how many pitches you throw. So we talked to all the pitchers during the spring, and it's a matter of they come when you have decent stuff. You pitch ahead in the count, and you expand hitter strike zone. A lot of times hitters will strike themselves out, and the Indians have some arms out there that are pretty darn good. When you're looking at Carrasco and Bauer and Kluber, and now Salazar's joining the group, and they're strikeout guys. But sometimes that can harm you because you look into the 5th inning and you're at about 100 pitches.
And there seems to be, for whatever reason, there is a clear line that differentiates success and failure in terms of the strikeout. In the Indians' press notes tonight, when the Indian starters have struck out 8 or more, they're 6-2. 7 or fewer, they're 0-10. So that seems to be the number as Escobar draws a leadoff walk. Going to bring up Mike Moustakas. Last night when the Indians put the shift on, nobody on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, we saw that was 2 strikes, and you're thinking, my goodness, what a nice job going the other way.
Tonight they put Chisenhall over there to take that hole away. He just hit it over his head.
Yeah. But at least they had a guy over there. He didn't try and do anything, just slapped it the other way. That's how you hit for high average, when you take pitches away like that and hit them to left, and it earns you pitches on the inside corner that you can end up turning on and let just react with your hands, and that's when the home runs come.
Chisenhall well off the line at third, but basically a traditional defensive setup now for Cleveland.
If this guy would keep that swing at his home ballpark where they go with, it's such a spacious outfield. It's probably the most spacious outfield in all of baseball. Outfielders have to play deeper there. You know, so a lot of base hits fall in when you can go the other way.
Yeah.
They're playing a very big ballpark, and it's tough to hit home runs.
A lot of gap space, though, there for doubles.
Doubles and triples, you're right.
I know Andre Knott had a chance to visit with Mike Moustakas before tonight's game. What did you learn talking to the Moose?
The word he used, and I think you guys will like this, is he said he learned to stop being stubborn. He used the word stubborn about 8 times. He said when he first got up to the big leagues, he thought he could hit everything out of the park. He said he learned very quickly that he couldn't. And then he said last year it finally came to him, take what's given to him. He said he loved to see the shift that the Indians had on yesterday because he's going to take advantage of it until teams figure out that's not the type of hitter he wants to be anymore.
And it still took him all year to figure it out, you know, because he went to winter ball and worked on it, and, you know, he thought he had it solved. But boy, when you get in that little white box at home plate, you think you can still do more things than capable of. He had a great postseason and a great end of the season, and I think that just carried over.
2-1 pitch. Hit hard and foul by inches.
You see
but see, here, this goes back to what we talked about last night. He's not just leaning out over the plate, slapping everything to the other side. He's still getting to that pitch in off the plate.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You earn to get yourself pitches on the inside. When you prove you'll go out there and take that base hit, it forces the pitcher to come in because he thinks you're leaning out over the plate. We saw him in an at-bat. He covered a pitch that was 6 inches outside, and he swung at a pitch inside the next pitch that almost hit him in the stomach.
Well, it seems like, and I mean, you've talked about sometimes, and maybe it's just a certain pitcher, you've got to cut the plate in half. Why is he able to seemingly cover the in and pitches away with equal success?
He's not worried about getting jammed, and he's just reacting to the pitch inside, and he's not trying to hit home runs. He's just making contact. He's not overswinging. He's quick to the baseball.
Escobar takes off, and that's fouled out of play.
The minute you start trying to hit home runs, your swing gets a little longer because you're trying to do more than you're capable of. If you have a short swing and let the pitcher supply the power, as they always used to say, the ball jumps off your bat. Home runs, you miss them a little bit, and they seem to carry. This guy's a good low ball hitter. Moustakas can pick that ball up and give it a ride. But he's got excellent plate coverage right now.
It's a simple game. Just get the barrel to it, right?
If you can.
The 2-2. Right back to Bauer. He'll go to second. There's one. On to first. Double play.
Bauer made an outstanding pitch right there. Let's look at the pitch here. He stays inside. He went with a nice four-seamer. One hopper back to Bauer. He doesn't rush it. Gives Ramirez a very good throw. And in turn, they get the 1-6-3 double play. Got a tough guy out right there, Trevor.
Yeah, he finally got in enough to where he couldn't get the barrel to it once.
Right.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, who flied to center in the first inning. High pitch, about letter high. 2 balls and no strikes. Kane was 1 for 5 last night, struck out 3 times. Did he go? They appeal. They say no, he did not. So it's 3-0. Bullseye. Looked like Kane was taken all the way. It's 3-1. Swings and pops it up. And Michael Brantley makes the grab. Good inning of work by Trevor Bauer. Turns a double play, and the Indians lead it 2-1. You enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 2-1 Cleveland, bottom of the third. Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana, and Brandon Moss due for Cleveland. Brantley smoked a double to right center his first time up. Guthrie said, no get me over fastball this time. A little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. That one just did catch the inside corner. Well, there's a line drive caught by Escobar, who had him shaded perfectly. That ball was really scalded, too. You see, Escobar went up with 2 hands just to make sure that he held on to it.
And it almost like he's in the sunshine. You're right, but Michael, this is our Wendy slow motion camera. Take a look at this. A line drive. He went down and hit it. Down goes Guthrie with the head, and up goes Escobar and makes a nice catch on the line drive. Took a hit away from Brantley.
Here's Carlos Santana. Bounced out to first in the first. Two years ago, Jeremy Guthrie traveled to China to teach Major League Baseball. He says he's taught the game abroad in Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, London, Barcelona, Madrid, and now China as well. And he says it's really interesting to see how international the game has become, and people are really taking to the game all over the world. He said, we think of it as our game here in just the United States, but it's definitely gained popularity in a lot of other places.
Well, when you're part of going over there and, help breaking it down, coaching and teaching people, you could see. First thing you got to know is the rules, and how to play the game. He and about 2 or 3 teammates went on that Japanese tour at the end of the year, too. Tito was on that as well, wasn't he?
I believe he was, yeah. Brandon Moss with an infield single his first time up. Came around to score on the 2-out hit by Michael Bourne. And a high fastball. Swings through it 1-1.
It's funny because, Guthrie started the day in the full windup when nobody was on base. In this inning, he started off out of the stretch. Throw to first. There's the leadoff hitter tonight, and here's Guthrie going out of the full windup. Starting the inning here. Well, there's a man on first. Oh, that's Santana. This inning, he walked him.
Moss is swinging a miss. He's down on the count 1-2.
Maybe he feels, his delivery and his full windup is a little messed up. He said he had a ton of walks in his last start against the Minnesota
6.
Twins. So, yeah, maybe just not comfortable.
Moss had a good pitch to Rip, and he fouls it back. Boy, he turned it loose.
Well, there's the fastball you hit. That's one you want to hit, not foul off.
Santana takes off. The pitch is low, and the throw is in time. Santana caught stealing for the first time this year.
You don't consider Santana a base stealer, and you've got your one guy. Maybe they just want to get something going with Moss up there because he swings and misses a lot at pitches. And with 2 strikes, I don't know if he felt maybe he was going to get a breaking ball or what. But with a guy that hits it out of the ballpark, I don't know why you want Santana swinging.
Well, that's going to end the inning. Moss strikes out after 3, Cleveland 2, Kansas City 1. Stat of the game today brought to you by Buick. To win the Central, you have to win in the Central. And right now, Detroit is really making some hay, 11-2 within the division. Kansas City with their win last night at 8-5. Everybody else below 500. And the Indians are really bringing up the rear.
Well, after tomorrow night's game, Kansas City will head home, and they get a 4-game series with the Tigers over the weekend in Kansas City. That should be a fun one to watch.
The Indians will welcome in Toronto for a 4-gamer. The Indians have been locked into Central play ever since the opening series of the season against the Houston Astros. Eric Hosmer with a base hit his first time up. And Bauer goes to a breaking ball for a called strike. It's 2-1. High fly ball to center field. Routine for Michael Bourne. 1 away. Let's go back down to Andre. You know, we've watched this Kansas City team really develop, and they swung the bats extremely well last night. What's going to be the most effective way for Bauer to keep them off balance?
He's got to find the right off-speed pitch to keep them off balance. And talking to some of the hitters of the Royals, they said, you know, they realize that he has a ton of pitches, and they said when he has his slider and curveball going, he's almost unhittable. So they said they had to figure out early what off-speed pitch is working for him and then play off of that.
Well, you've talked about this from a hitter's perspective. You have to be able to eliminate some pitches when you go up there. You can't be looking for 4 different things.
No, you got to look at his best pitch. You want to know what a pitcher likes to throw when he's behind in the count and how he tries to get you out when he's ahead in the count. And those are the pitches you try and look for in certain situations.
Kendry Morales with a line drive single into center field. It looked like a fastball from Bauer, but Rick, it seems like tonight, and again, sometimes it is hard to tell exactly what pitch is being thrown, but those appear to be fastballs. But he's hitting around 88 miles an hour with his fastball, and we're normally seeing him in the low mid-90s.
Yeah, he's 93, 94 most of the time with his heater. At least he has been. And, you know, his changeup, it goes down, so you can certainly tell.
Yeah.
You know, when a changeup, when he throws one, because it's got movement on it.
And, he just started into the windup and didn't realize and forgot there was a runner at first. And so when he stopped, it's going to be a balk, and Morales goes to second. I think it's just one of those cases where he forgot. He's like, well, wait a minute, there's a runner on first.
Yeah, full windup, man on first base. Had a brain cramp.
Hey, anybody that's been knocked around with, whether it's the flu, whether it's any illness of any kind, it saps some of your strength, and it might just be he's still fighting back from that, and that's why the velocity's maybe a little down from what we're normally used to seeing. But he's still out here competing.
Yes, he is.
Getting people out.
I'm sure the last thing you want to do is on your day when you have to go pitch is walk off the field when you're expected to go out there and start your warm-ups, come off and say, I don't feel good?
Yeah.
You really must not feel good if you walk off the field. And, Trevor would not do that unless there was something really wrong.
I'm sure there are a lot of guys that wouldn't even have gone out on the field. He went out and started his warm-up routine Saturday.
See if he could get through it,
Because he thought maybe he could fight through it, and then about halfway into it, he was physically ill, and it just wasn't going to happen. 3-0 pitch. Missed inside, ball 4. So a hit and a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Salvador Perez.
Well, with the way that Gordon hit him the last time up out of the ballpark for their only run, he was going to be a little more careful once he balked that guy to second base and he had first base open. He wasn't going to go right at him with a fastball because he hit one fastball deep into the night. So far, the second time through the lineup, 29 pitches for Bauer, 16 balls.
Hayes with a good stop.
Well, and you can see, first pitch strikes only 5 of 16. After the walk in last inning, he got the big double play ball and made a tremendous pitch to Moustakas to get the double play and got out of the inning, getting Kane to pop up. Now after a 1-out single.
Popped him up. Boy, this is huge. Kipnis calls for it. 2 down. Infante's been swinging a hot bat this year.
KeyBank Kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under. With the purchase of an adult ticket, kids' tickets are located in the new family deck here at Progressive Field. Just log on to Indians.com.
Yeah, Salvador Perez, who popped up, he's been swinging a hot bat, so that's why I say that's a big out. Omar Infante, he's been a pain in the you-know-what for the Indians over the years, but last night, just 1 for 4, grounded out his first time up. Every ball he's hit in the series has been to the left side of the infield. 4 balls either hit to short or between third and short yesterday, and the first one up here tonight went right to third base. I don't seem to recall him being this much of a pull hitter when he was with Detroit either. It seemed like he was always going the other way.
He sits. He's a great fastball hitter, man. You try and throw it by him, and he can get you.
Bourne's throw to the plate going to be cut off. Go to third. They got the runner hung up there.
That's all right. He wanted to throw to get cut, so that run comes to score.
Morales does score the tying run. Alex Gordon is thrown out in the rundown, and it's a 2-2 ball game now, middle of the 4th. Two our score as we roll to the bottom of the 4th inning. And our great clip of the game from last night, Mike Aviles. That fastball ended up on the porch. 2-run homer tied the game, but that was it for the Indians offensively in last night's game.
First home run at home this year for the Tribe.
David Murphy leaning off here, fly to left is the first time up. And takes a strike. Boy, nailed the inside corner that time. Off the plate. And Murphy got a pitch up that time, but couldn't quite keep it fair. Tried to slap it down the left field line. And a chopper up the first baseline. It's going to stay foul.
That's a good deal. I thought that he'd fouled it off his foot, but he did not.
Now the 2-2. And Murphy pulls it foul over toward the Kansas City dugout. Hard grounder. Boy, Hosmer gets down to a knee, slaps it right into the mitt. One away. The second annual Velasano Bike Ride for Cancer Research takes place July 17th through the 19th. 6 different routes that start and finish in downtown Cleveland, including 1- and 2-day rides. Every dollar raised by Velasano participants benefits cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Get involved by visiting velasano.org. Lonnie Chisenhall takes a curveball for strike one. Chisenhall, a single and a run scored in the second. Pulls that one foul. That ball's hit hard but foul. Boy, somebody bravely tried to put a bare hand up in front of that one. Now Guthrie ahead of Chisenhall, a ball and 2 strikes. Lonnie broke his bat, sends a routine fly to right. And Dyson makes the catch 2 away. Brett Hayes, a liner to second, his first time up. A lot of times you see a guy get a bat broken. It's maybe on a pitch in on his hands and gets jammed. Bat splinters, goes in different pieces. One like that where you hit it and it gets to the outfield. Do you come back and try to cover it up? Oh, it's a bad bat. Faulty equipment right there.
A little off the end is what it is. Takes the sting out of the bat. You stay off the barrel. The key to pitching. Big swing, and that's how outfielders get fooled, because they see a guy take that big swing and you don't hear the crack of the bat. Sometimes that's how you can judge it, but you get fooled on it. A lot of times you'll break back on it as an outfielder. And then, with the cupped end and the light bats now, that shatters a lot of bats, too, when you hit it off the end.
The 1-2 pitch. It does seem that ever since they changed some of the way they inspect the bats with the grain, we're not seeing the explosions of bats like we saw in years past.
True. Yeah, it was bad for a while. I remember all the.
Oh man, that nailed Santana and Karam all the way to third base.
Look at Perez.
Look
at right on the top of the helmet. He's rubbing his head. That had to hurt.
Nick Kenny, the Royals trainer, going to come out immediately. And I think more than anything, he saw the way Perez sort of staggered and fell back initially.
I mean, it was solid. It almost looked like he put his head down a little bit.
Yes.
And it caught over the mask, and it just got him on top of the helmet. And that's just like somebody taking a baseball bat and hit you. He goes down. You okay? What's your name? My name's Ralph. Who are you? Nice to meet you.
Tell Charlie I'll see him later.
I'll tell you, boy, those guys are tough back there. He was a former catcher. They know what it's like. And nowadays, they really have to be careful with the concussions and things that go on.
Now the 2-2. And Brett Hayes is called out on a third strike to end the inning. Tribe goes 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. By the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. 2-2 as we go now to the fifth inning. Gerard Dyson, Alcides Escobar, and Mike Moustakas due for Kansas City. Dyson struck out his only time up. Story in the Kansas City Star about Gerard Dyson. He was hanging around one day with Eric Hosmer, his good friend, and Lorenzo Cain, and he just said to those guys, nobody really in particular, said, "What do you think it would be like without me?" And Lorenzo Cain said, "Quiet." They love this guy, though, in that clubhouse. Talked about it yesterday. He was a 50th round pick, and the draft is only 40 rounds now. That was before they shortened the draft, but he was one of those guys that he really only had one tool when they scouted him. He was fast. But Kansas City felt like it was something they could work with where they in the 50th round.
Yeah, no kidding.
And basically, one of their scouts said, look, he called the general manager, I can get you a guy who grades out at the top, at the very top, in one of his tool categories. And you can get him with in a 50th round. And he said, you got to be kidding me. He's like, no, I've seen the guy play. His speed it's 10 out of 10. Whatever you want to, however your grading system works. It's a 10 out of 10. And they said, why not? Let's take a shot.
Well, you teach him how to bunt, and he can run him down. He was playing center field. He's now playing right now that they have Kane.
Well, and to give you an idea how raw his talent was, Rick, he goes into the minor leagues. He's not even playing. He's sitting on the bench in the minor leagues for 3 years. So they were A, patient with him, and B, they knew that the speed would play if he could ever figure out the rest of the game. And
well, maybe sitting down watching it and watching people play the game, and he figured it out.
It took a while, but he's feeling he came out of Mississippi, and it was a tough growing up where he was at. Not the best of circumstances, but he says, I've had to work for everything. Nobody's ever given me anything.
Well, and what he's doing now, too, he's the one guy that had speed when they brought him over, and now they have a bunch of guys, some athletes that can run. But when you're the one guy that has to run, that's tough to do. A lot of times he'll come into games in the ninth inning as a pinch runner on first base and have to steal a base, or they want him to steal a base. Pretty good pitch.
We saw him last night just literally outrun the baseball.
Well, he can do that also in the outfield. He's learning a new position now in right field where you get the true read off his center field. Now he's getting it a little different, but he'll be fine, him with his speed.
Got a piece of that to stay alive. This will be the ninth pitch of the at-bat. Yeah, there's a pop. Foul ground, maybe playable. Chisenhall's there, and he's got it right in front of the tarp. Time now for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, let's head to Fenway Park in Boston, where the Red Sox had a 4-0 lead, but then here in the top of the third, the Blue Jays score 5. Last run driven in here by Michael Saunders to knock in Encarnacion. 5-4 Jays. They're moving to the fourth in Boston, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Alcides Escobar grounded to third in the first, walked in the third. To right field, and back goes Moss. Makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch for out number 2. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Brandon McCarthy done for the year after elbow injury knocks him out for the Dodgers. Puig also on the deal with that hamstring problem. Homer Bailey down for the Reds with a right elbow. Jose Reyes, boy, he's had some injury issues the last few years. Cracked rib puts him down. That doesn't sound like just a couple of weeks either.
No. Well, the way he plays the game, you wouldn't think so. Running around and leading off and playing shortstop, having a dive.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think.
I mean, just a bruised rib can be extremely painful. Especially in baseball when you got to twist your torso as much as you do.
And he's a switch hitter, too. You know, so he's...
Rounded the first. Santana gobbles it up, takes it himself. And Trevor Bauer works his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. 2-2 our score, bottom of the 5th inning. For the Tribe, Michael Bourne, Jason Kipnis, Jose Ramirez. Bourne delivering a clutch hit tonight for the Tribe. A 2-out, 2-run single in the 2nd inning. That gave the Indians at that time a 2-1 lead. Kansas City has since come back to tie it. Bourne grounds to Hosmer here for out number 1. Here is our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. This was how Kansas City took the lead. Alex Gordon, a solo smash in the 2nd. But then Michael Bourne put the Tribe ahead with the 2-out, 2-run knock. Had scored Moss and Chisenhall, and then Omar Infante in the 4th inning with an RBI single. They would end up throwing out Alex Gordon in a rundown to end the inning. And that's where we're at. Bottom of the 5th, top of the order. Jason Kipnis takes a called strike. He has grounded out and walked in the ball game. The significance of Bourne's hit in the 2nd inning, it's his first hit this year with a runner in scoring position. He was 0 for 10 coming in.
Yeah. You know what? They did it early. It was a 2-out base hit, and usually that lets a few people relax on the bench, although Kansas City did come back and tie it in the 4th.
Well, yeah, he had 3 hits in the 2nd inning. Brantley doubled in the 1st, so 4 hits in the first 2. They only had 4 hits the whole game last night. But as Terry Francona said earlier, I think Andre reiterated this, like, you can't worry about getting to 12-12 right now. You need to win a game.
Right.
Just think about
play
tonight.
Your 9
don't
innings
worry about
right,
anything else.
that you have to play tonight. What's in front of you right now? That's tonight's ball game. And as you pointed out last night, over the last 3 years, identical records. So these two teams go at it very well.
Well, and here's another thing, too. For everybody that wants to, and I get it, I understand, nobody wants to look up early in the season and see your team 6 games under 500, and we're not even out of the month of April yet. That's discouraging. But just think about this for a moment. Michael Brantley batted .245 in April last year.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't
ended
have,
up with 200 hits.
You wouldn't have seen the kind of year he had coming if you just based it on April alone. Almost a collision at first base there. It looked like Guthrie was expecting a flip, and Hosmer decided to take it himself, and all 3 guys ended up at the bag at the same time, including Kipnis.
Well, if you can, you usually take it. He was looking the other way, and then it looked like Guthrie was waiting for him to take it.
Was he going with a no-look pass?
Well, he was looking. He might have been talking to somebody else on the infield, but he gets there. Guthrie gets there.
Ramirez struck out on the first, fly to center in the 2nd. Looks at a ball here, 2-0.
To go on that, you think about the first 2 months of the season, Santana was hitting about $150 when you just talk about April. But, they had a bad start last year. What were they, 11-17 through the month of April last year? But this year you don't have 2 teams in front of you in the division that are playing lights out early.
Yeah, everything's relevant to the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
3-1 pitch. There's a line drive single in the right field for Jose Ramirez. That's his first hit in the series. And a 2-out base runner for Michael Brantley. Always good to keep inning alive for Brantley. Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 continues Saturday. It's another doubleheader. West Coast matchup between the Angels and Giants, and then the Reds take on the Braves. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. close play at first. Quick toss over by Guthrie as Ramirez just beat the tag of Hosmer. Ned Yost thinking about a challenge here.
Yeah, he wants to talk to the umpire. I think he wants him to look at it. He sure does. They got rid of that quick. And let's see.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you what, they're right.
They might have a pretty good case here.
Yeah, I think they feel he was out. First base umpire Jerry Meals made the call. And it looked like they got him on the shoulder, didn't it? Just from that replay.
Now, as long as you win your challenge, you keep your challenge. If he loses here, then he's out of challenges. Let's see. Oh,
he's out.
Yep. That looked pretty convincing. The call by first base umpire Jerry Meals, who is also the crew chief, was safe. So they need to have clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. I guess the only question, Rick, was, do you see the hand and where is it on the base relative to the tag?
He made that call awfully quick to say review it. And, you know, even though that they look, because they're sitting in that first base dugout, and I think they had a pretty good look. And somebody had to say, yeah, he was out. So they feel really strong about this. And you see, the ball beats him. Now, if that's applied, that's a tag before he did tag him before his hand got in, as far as I'm concerned there. You know, it was a similar play like we had with Rayburn in Detroit.
Yeah,
where you couldn't tell where the tag was on that blue jersey. You know what I'm saying? And he looked safe to us, but you couldn't know. And there was the evidence. You couldn't just overturn it and say he did tag him or he didn't.
That's the only thing I'm saying here is it clear and convincing that you don't see his hand on the bag? At least from the two angles that we've been able to show, I don't know. I mean, it looks like he definitely tags him. Unlike, that was the problem with Rayburn. It was hard to tell if the tag was applied or not.
There they go. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, there again.
I just don't think, from the video replays we saw, I don't know that there was convincing evidence. So the call stands. It's not confirmed.
Look at Hosmer telling Ramirez, yeah, I tagged you.
But Ramirez is saying, that's all right, my hand was on the bag. So here's the rub is that, and sure enough, Guthrie fires one right back over there. The rub is that since Yost used his challenge and loses, he's now out of challenges. Ramirez takes off. Brantley takes a strike in the throw. And they got him. And now hold on a second. We might still have yet another challenge. Terry Francona is out of the dugout. He's saying, hold on a second. Royals are being asked to hold their positions. Terry's waiting to see what Greg Langbin relays to Brad Mills. Let's take another look here quickly. And Terry saying no challenge. His hand might have come off the bag anyway at the end. Let's see. His hand did come off. He would have been out anyway. So the inning is over. No runs, a hit, nobody left through 5. We're tied at 2. Getting ready to go to the 6th inning here in Cleveland. Boy, been a very difficult last few days in the city of Baltimore. And due to the riots and protests that have been going on there, the last 2 games have been postponed. They're going to play tomorrow at 2 o'clock, but the game will be closed to the public. It will be televised from what we understand and probably broadcast on radio, but no fans will be allowed in just due to public
weird,
safety. Yeah, it's been a pretty scary situation. Lorenzo Cain leads off. He's 0 for 2. Trevor Bauer turning in a very gutsy performance here tonight. Just a couple of days removed from his scheduled start Saturday in Detroit when he became very ill with food poisoning. And we noted earlier, just from the radar readings,
not his typical self.
Not what you're used to seeing, but you got to love the guts and the competitive nature of Bauer to say, I'm going to go out there and do what my team needs of me. And here he is pitching into the 6th inning.
Well, yeah, if he couldn't go tonight, they might have had to make a move.
Bounced foul.
You know, for T.J. House, he was the one that he threw the night before, getting his work in, thinking he was going to start today, and comes to the ballpark on Saturday, and he's the one that's getting the start because Bauer couldn't go. So a weird situation for him.
Got him looking. Bauer with a strikeout, his second of the night.
You know, that was one of his better ones at 90 miles an hour, but what he did, he painted with it. It's going to be our Circle K strikeout of the day. Only his second strikeout, but, boy, it's out there. It's paint. He gets the call and gets the leadoff hitter.
You know, not that you ever want to have to go out there in a major league setting and pitch without being at your best physically. But I just wonder if an outing like this, especially as cerebral and intuitive as Bauer is, if this doesn't just kind of enlighten him to say, you know what, as long as you can command it and keep hitters off balance the way he's doing tonight, he's doing this with, again, he's barely cracking 90 miles an hour.
Well, he knows that's what he has to do to survive. I think if you ask him, he'd rather have 94.
Oh, sure. Wouldn't you? You always want to have that when you know it's back there.
No, but, you know, there's times you have to go out there, and, you know, you go out there probably, if you get 33 starts 10 times where you've got light, you know, your stuff is lights out, where you feel good about it. And you got to go out there about 10 times where you've got to work because you just don't feel like you have it that given day.
Yeah.
And you've got to battle your way through it. You've got to pitch. You've got to use everything you have in your, you know, brain and in your physical ability that day.
The arsenal. Got to use everything in the arsenal.
You got it. Everything. Change speed. Stay out of the middle of the bat.
Now the 2-2. And a hard hit ground ball diving stop by Chisenhall. And what a play.
And you want good defense behind you while you're doing it, too. And there's a nice play by Chisenhall taking a base hit away right around the shortstop hole.
Yeah, he's playing off the line and with good reason right there.
Yeah, he's way off the line. You can see Ramirez is up the middle. Going to his left, he gets it, and he didn't rush. Nice, easy throw to first base. Plenty of time to retire Hosmer. Good play.
That'll bring up Kendry Morales. Singled and scored his last time up. Takes the ball down low.
Change up.
See how far out in front Morales was?
Yeah, he's cheating on that fastball, and you can see that movement on his changeup too. Once you start that swing, it's tough to hold up.
Hammered down the line, fair into the corner.
You'll have a chance here.
Moss going to take it out, make a strong throw to second, cut off by Kipnis, and the tag is not there in time. Morales in safely with a 2-out double. A lot of action on that play, and it was still bang-bang at second base.
It was, and, Francona's looking on that top step. He's looking for a reaction from Ramirez. And I really don't think Ramirez knew he caught the ball because the throw was right into the runner, and I think it's surprised he caught it. Kipnis is going to cut it because he sees it's offline. And you see, and he didn't tag him. He came down after us. He had to go back and then bring it back on the short hop. It was really a good play.
If he doesn't have to come up on the short hop,
right,
he tags him right on the foot.
That's usually where that glove comes up, and then he has to put it back down again. But that was a really nice play. I didn't realize it short hopped him. I thought it was right into the runner. So that'll go as a 2-out double.
And now a base hit into right field. Moss coming up. He's going to have to hurry. Coming around third, Morales. Here's the throw. It's offline, and the Royals take the lead. So back-to-back 2-out hits for Kansas City in the 6th, and they now lead it 3-2. Morales with the double, and Gordon finds the hole. Moss had to run a long way to get to it, and by the time he did, he couldn't get off an accurate throw.
Yeah, and Gordon now, he's driven in 2. He wasted no time, and just an erratic throw there by Brandon Moss, way offline. The run will score. He's shaking his head. Sometimes when you're an outfielder and you go after that ball and you got to try and throw, you try so hard to hurry and you put so much on it, you throw it too hard. Instead of just staying within yourself and trying to make a good, strong, accurate throw, the harder you try to throw it, it's like when you swing the bat, the slower it gets. Mm-hmm. So he was trying to throw out that runner at home plate and it was way offline.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Perez has flied to right and popped up on the infield. Runner goes. Here's the throw down, and they got him. Kipnis looked like he had a snow cone it a little bit there, but he tags Gordon out to end the inning. A run on 2 hits, and Kansas City is in front by a run. The NFL draft kicks off Thursday night. What will Cleveland do with their first two first-round picks? Find out what Bruce Drennan thinks Thursday afternoon at 3:30 on Drennan Live before the Tribe takes on Toronto right here on Sports Time Ohio. Michael Brantley will lead off the bottom of the 6th as Jeremy Guthrie goes into the windup. And Brantley smashes it into right field. Well, he's hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight. Last time up, he was robbed of a hit when he lined it to short where Escobar made a nice catch.
Boy, he gets a nice pitch to hit there, and he doesn't miss it. You're right. Everything has jumped off his bat tonight. He remains hot.
Carlos Santana has grounded out and he has walked. Both bullpens are busy as Santana takes ball 1. Left-hander up for Kansas City.
Looks like Finnegan. Kid they just called up.
3 straight left-handed hitters in the lineup after Santana for the Tribe. As he whacks it back over the screen.
There's Finnegan. Called up. He was starting down at Double-A.
Down low. 2 balls and a strike. Whew. 2-2. Santana tried to hit that ball 10 miles but pulled well off it. Royals not only shift the infield but the outfield as well. Everything around toward right. Inside and a full count. That looked like a purpose pitch to set up whatever he wants to throw here.
Change up maybe down and away. Something off speed.
After the swing on the prior pitch, I would think that's a good bet. We'll see. Brantley draws a throw first. Michael has 1 steal, has yet to be caught. Ball 4. Santana walks for the 2nd time in a row. And the Indians have their first 2 on here in the 6th, and that's going to be it for Guthrie. At least I would assume that's the case. Ned Yost, there he makes the move for the left-hander Finnegan, so we will have our Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen here in the 6th inning with 2 on and nobody out. Guthrie will depart. Left-hander Brandon Finnegan will be coming on when we come back. Kansas City on top, 3-2.
Enjoy the new family deck and expanded kids clubhouse at KeyBank Fun Day this Sunday at Progressive Field. Plus, kids run the bases after the ball game, presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's. So visit Indians.com.
Left-hander Brandon Finnegan coming in for Kansas City. Ryan Rayburn has moved to the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit for David Murphy. But first up, we'll have a left-on-left matchup between Finnegan and Brandon Moss. A battle of Brandons here in the 6th with 2 on and nobody out.
Well, this young man, he was a 17th overall pick last year in the June draft. Ended up getting to the big leagues. Made his debut September 6th at Yankee Stadium and actually pitched really well. Pitched a couple of innings. Ended up even pitching in the World Series. Both of them, the College World Series and the regular one in the
First
same
guy to ever
year.
do that, right?
Yes, he was.
Off the glove of Perez, both runners will move up. Second
Cross up.
time that's happened tonight. First time it was a wild pitch. This time it's a pass ball.
I think he was crossed up here. The young man now, this is his first time up, and he's going to go talk to him. This has to be a cross out. He's looking for something else. I think he was calling for a breaking ball. And this pitch got away from Finnegan, and I'll tell you what, they crossed him up. And it's a break for the Indians. I don't know if they give him a wild pitch or it's a pass ball. That's the signs. This is his first time in. He's been starting down at Double-A. So it's a pass ball in the 2nd and 3rd now. So the tying run. And nobody out.
Now the 1-0. Shattered the bat. Moss will grab a new piece of lumber.
Became fastball that time inside, and it jammed him to death. You see, got in there, and there it goes. He needs a new one. See pieces of the bat flying all over the place.
Now the 1-1. There's a high drive, deep right field. Dyson racing back. He's out of room. It's out of here. Oh, Brandon Moss mashes one deep into the seats in right field for a 3-run homer. And the Indians take a 5-3 lead.
Yeah, he gave him some swinging room on that fastball. And Moss makes him pay. Gets it out over the plate. And he hits it deep into the seats. A 3-run homer, and that gives the Indians a 5-3 lead. 2 of those runs will be charged at Guthrie, so he gives up 4. And boy, that didn't turn out for the Royals. Big hit there by Brandon Moss.
Now pinch hitting Ryan Rayburn, a swing and a miss. Ryan Rayburn bounces it to third base. Moustakas sets and throws. 1 away. Now Brandon Moss, not that it matters, but the fact that it comes off a left-hander is nice to see. As much as this team has had problems with left-handed pitching. And right after Ned Yost goes to his lefty for this very reason, Moss just unloads.
Yeah, he crossed him up the Perez on the first pitch. He jammed him with a fastball. He comes back with a fastball. He didn't locate it. And Brandon Moss made him pay. And it's a big one, a 3-pointer.
Lonnie trying to bloop one into left field. He will. Chisenhall's aboard with a 1-out single. His second hit of the night. Both his hits going the other way.
Yeah, he was jammed on that one, but he fought it off and gets it into left field. So 3 hits in the inning, 8 hits for the game.
We went back and looked it up. Guys in the truck found it. Moss did face Finnegan one time in that wild card game last year. He struck out. But maybe just a little, having a knowledge of facing a guy at least one time, he knew what they'll be looking for. You've got your scouting reports, and everybody knows that's one thing, but to have some firsthand knowledge, even if it's only one at bat.
Well, he probably realized how that heater was coming out of his hand in the playoffs, because I'm sure he's a young kid. You're rearing back and letting it fly.
Brett Hayes 0 for 2 on the night. One ball and 2 strikes. Tribe coming from behind here tonight.
Now they responded. Kansas City took the lead in the 6th, and they jumped back with 3. Not done yet.
Foul back by Hayes. Now Brandon Moss leads the team now with 14 runs batted in. And as Terry Francona has remarked on a number of different occasions, he's the kind of hitter that he can carry a team when he gets hot.
Well, he hit the first home run for the Indians this year, which was not a solo home run. That was Friday night in the big 13-1 win. He comes in here. They're down a run. He hits a 3-run homer to give him a 2-run lead. 3-run homers go a long way in this game.
Boy, don't they
Especially
ever.
when you get some decent pitching.
Popped up on the infield by Hayes. 2 down. I'll bring up Michael Bourne, who drove in the Indians' other 2 runs tonight with a 2-out, 2-run single back in the 2nd inning. And Bourne takes fastball for a strike. One ball, 1 strike.
There's Atch. He's ready to come in.
Bourne looks. It's low. 2 balls and a strike. Just missed the inside corner. Bourne backing away from it. 3-1.
See if it wraps around the plate. Yeah, that was inside.
Low and away, ball 4. So 3 have reached off Finnegan. He has retired 2 batters. But the 8th man to bat in the inning will be Jason Kipnis. Kipnis 0 for 2 with a walk. Perez, the Really, it seems like the unquestioned leader on this ball club. Well, he was doing all the talking.
Oh, yeah.
With Finnegan.
He controls it, no question.
Plus, who's going to argue with him as big as he is?
Well, I'd like to see a nice 2-out base hit here to keep it going.
Hit him.
No.
Yes,
Perez,
it did hit him. Yeah.
It did. See, Kipnis said no. He was going to stay up there. And then Perez looked back, and he was waiting to hear something from the umpire. And then he finally said, yes, it did. It hit him. It's a breaking ball that hit him. And I'll tell you what, Kansas City doesn't have anybody else up. I watched Kipnis, and he acted like it didn't hit him. You watch Perez. Now his reaction. He's waiting to hear from the umpire. It doesn't look like it hit him, does it? See, you see Perez point back, and then he said first base. So that'll go as a hit batter.
It's hard to see on the video. It sounded like
it
grazed him before it hit the glove of Perez, but boy, on the video, it didn't look like the ball changed direction
on video
at all.
A lot. Take
a listen.
Couldn't really hear it there. Usually Schnack, what did he finally turn it down? We heard everything else.
All the dogs out there listening heard it. Here's Jose Ramirez batting right-handed.
When we want to hear something, we can't. When we don't want it, we hear it all night.
Let's try again.
There it is. That away. I heard that one.
Yeah.
It sounded like it clipped something.
Here's the 1-0 to Ramirez. And a foul out of play.
I knew they had it. They were just messing with us. I know I'm getting old, but I can hear.
Huh? Can you turn that up? Bases loaded, 2 outs. 9th man to bat in the inning. Ramirez singled his last time up. And he takes 2 balls and a strike. Chisenhall's at third, Bourne at second, Kipnis at first. And the 2-1 bounced up the middle, cut off by Escobar, and that'll end the inning. Brandon Moss, though, delivers a big blast for the Tribe, and they lead it now 5-3. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. Coming up later on Fox Sports Live, highlights from Major League Baseball, the games in action tonight. The latest from Charm City and how it will affect the Orioles. So you can catch Fox Sports Live tonight at 11 on Fox Sports 1 and simulcast on Fox Sports Ohio. Seventh inning, Scott Atchison on for the Indians. Salvador Perez swings at the first pitch, and he bangs it the other way for a base hit. Royals with their leadoff man aboard.
Well, you know, Atchison, he comes in, he's aggressive, he comes right at you, and Perez was ready for it. Both teams now with 8 hits. The difference is the big 3-run homer by Moss.
Omar Infante, an RBI single. His last time up, bounced one up the middle.
This Kansas City team now, they have their scoring margin. They lead Major League Baseball. They've outscored their opposition by 34 runs. They've done it by 10 runs through the first 6 innings, and now they're down by 2. But from inning 7 through the rest of the game, they're up 24. So they score late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you got to really be careful with them.
That makes your bullpen that much better.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they score late and with their bullpen, that's a really nice combination. At least they have going for the first 18 games of the season.
Infante ropes it to left, and that's going to go all the way to the fence. Into second base with a double is Infante as Perez pulls into third. And right back come the Royals.
Yes, they do. As you know, they say your bullpen's only as good as that offense. And our offense has been good and late. So now they come back. They get the tying run into scoring position with nobody out. Infante gets his second hit, gets his 6th double of the year. He can hit a fastball. He turns on it, gets it to the wall.
Gerard Dyson 0 for 2 on the night. He has struck out, fouled out. Little chopper right out in front of the plate. Atchison goes to first, gets the out. Big first out in the inning, 1 away. Before we turn it over to the top of the order, let's get on to Andre, who talked to some of the Royals earlier and before this series. And Andre, they have that supreme belief in their ability to come back, and a lot of that goes back to that postseason game they had against Oakland last year, doesn't it?
Where Mr. Moss was hitting home runs all over the park. But when they came back in that game, Ned Yost told him afterwards that there was a 2% chance of them coming back to win that game. And a lot of players said when they realized that, they're not into statistics or anything like that, but it clicked that, hey, we can beat anybody at any time. And one of the players said, the next thing I know, we're in Game 7 of the World Series. He said that's taken us into the 2015 season. They just have a belief that they can win no matter what the situation is, guys.
Yeah, that's confidence. They're a bunch of young kids that grew up together, and they believe in themselves now, no doubt. Well, I'll tell you, they got a big out there because Dyson hit it out in front of the plate. Atch came in, and at second base, Infante almost ran Perez off a third. You know, he was halfway down to third base, and he was expecting Perez to go there. He didn't go. He had to stop it. He's not the fastest runners, also. He had to make sure. You see Zabchinski and Shaw warming.
Escobar, the hitter, 0 for 2 with a walk. 0 for 7 in the series now. Low and away, ball 1. Same pitch that time. It was right on the corner of the plate for a strike to even the count. ran it in on him. And Escobar on a check swing fouls it off.
Boy, that really makes this count totally different. With the check swing, you go it to a 1-2 count. If you miss that ball, it's inside off the plate. Now you're in a hitter's count at 2-1. So that's a good pitch there for Atchison.
No chase from Escobar, and it's even at 2-2. We're in the 7th with the Indians leading 5-3. Try to get him to offer once again, way off the plate, full count. You got Mike Moustakas waiting on deck. Zipchinski in the bullpen would probably be coming in to face him. Payoff pitch. Line to right, base hit. That's going to tie the game. Perez scores. Infante comes home and into second base with a double. Alcides Escobar, and right back come the Royals. We're even at 5.
Yeah, he tried to come back with a 3-2 heater, and I don't know if they wanted it located away. But Escobar's a guy that can reach out. He handles it. He uses the whole ballpark. They want it in. It's away. There's the mistake there. You can see the glove coming back from Hayes going for a backhand, and they wanted it in. The location wasn't there. He makes him pay. The Royals tie it up, and Atchison is done for the night, so 3 out of the 4 reach.
So both teams' bullpens touched here tonight. We're even at 5 in the 7th. Well, thanks to Alcides Escobar and his 2-run double to right field, we're tied at 5, and that approach has been consistent for Kansas City in the first 2 games of the series, staying on the ball and taking it to the other field.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good job of hitting, but you see Atch missed his location. They wanted it in and threw it away. So now Zipchinski's going to come on, and he's going to try and keep him stranded out there at second base because that's a go-ahead run. And, you know, we told you about that bullpen, and once they get the lead, they can be awfully tough. You want to get out of here, keep it a tied game now.
Mike Moustakas 1 for 3 tonight. And 5 for 8 in the series. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. little bit of history here between these two, 3 for 7. Zipchinski has struck him out once. And that's how you can tell Moustakas is just laser locked right now at home plate. Able to lay off that tantalizing breaking ball from Zipchinski that a lot of left-handers, they just can't help themselves.
I would say the game's slowing down for him in the batter's box right now. He's, he's in a good frame of mind. He's seeing the ball well, and he's not trying to do too much.
3 balls and a strike with Lorenzo Cain on deck.
The funny thing is, he got a base hit off him. Zipchinski faced him last night. The lefty's got the base hit. Cain on deck, he was able to strike out. But in this situation, he's coming on to face him again. If he walks him, I wonder if he goes right back out. Do we have somebody else? A righty warming up? Shaw's out there.
3-1 pitch. Popped up foul, back out of play.
He was trying to do some damage. 3-1, looking for that ball inside.
There is Shaw, he was up alongside Zipchinski, so I would imagine he is ready. The 3-2. Hit it off the plate. Santana has to flip it quickly, and Zipchinski, they call him safe. Now the runner comes home. Brett Hayes with a tag. Ball kicks out of the glove, and he's safe at the plate.
Hurt his ankle, Escobar did, trying to...
Wow, what a bad blow for the Indians on a perfect throw and tag at the plate. But the ball kicked out of the glove of Hayes, and the Royals have the lead 6-5. And I'm not sure what happened at first base.
Well, that's what you got to be looking at a replay to see if they get it.
Unless Zipchinski missed the bag, maybe?
I don't know. I didn't get a chance. I see Santana gets him the ball. You know what? That has to be the only thing. The foot beat him. So they may want to look at it. They are. They're going to review it. And why not? But what happens here, the run still scores. Zipchinski had to miss the base. See, as he tries to kick it again as he goes back?
Yeah.
With the toe, he had to be off by about an inch or two.
Now watch the play at the plate.
He gets him. Hayes made a nice pick. But as he comes in, his right foot kicked the ball out of the glove, and watch him get up limping. I don't know if he twisted an ankle or what happened, but, boy, that ball goes flying out of the glove. Even if he's out at first base, the run's still going to score. Can't tell there.
All right, so the challenge is on the play at first, but as you point out, the run scores no matter what.
So you can't see there if he steps on the bag. The umpire said that he was safe all the way, and then he comes back to try and kick the bag again. Moustakas, his foot lands on the base.
Yeah.
They get tangled up right there. Then they throw the ball home.
The only thing you're looking for, did that right foot, did it rub up against the base here at the last moment before the foot?
We'll never see that. We don't have a shot. But the umpire, you see where he's looking. And just seeing Zipchinski try to put the toe on there makes you think that he did miss it. So let's see. I think they.
So the call stands, which is what we assumed was going to happen. And Moustakas ended up going to second base after the throw home, and then it got away. So that's going to be a single for Moustakas. And obviously an RBI, but So the error will be charged to Hayes, allowing Moustakas to get to second base. All right. Now we get that all straight. Eric Hosmer will be the batter now. With 2 on, and still only 1 out.
Okay, so all 3 runs in the inning will be charged to Atchison. You see, he's going to take off. The big high hopper, he's going to put his head down, and he's going to round third. He's slowed down. And then he makes the decision, I got to go home. He's out until he kicks the ball out of the glove of Hayes.
Scorched foul.
Weird play all the way around. Right from the ball off the plate. That's how hot Moustakas is. He hits one off the plate and it goes high and it gets a base hit.
And an RBI.
Gets an RBI from second base when the guy should have been out.
Dead by 10 feet. I mean, a perfect throw. He's out at the plate, but kicks the ball out of the glove, and that's the way it's going right now for Kansas City, and that's the way it's going for Cleveland. To short. There's 1. No turn. So there's 2 down in the inning. Moustakas to third on the play. Hosmer at first on the fielder's choice, and the 8th man to bat in the inning will be Kendry Morales. Well, Kane a little gimpy as he gets up. And now Terry Francona is going to come out. And it looks like he's going to go to Brian Shaw here to face Kendry Morales and turn him around. Timeout. 3 runs in for the Royals. Back and forth we go. KC in front, 6-5. Well, another strange turn of events here in this 7th inning. It was a crazy 6th inning on the Indians' last road trip that did him in a game in Minnesota. Here tonight it's the 7th. And Kansas City has scored 3 times to take the lead, 6-5. Brian Shaw will come on with 2 aboard and 2 out. They'll be facing Kendry Morales, who's 2 for 3 tonight with a single and a double, and he has scored 2 runs.
Yes.
Did he go around? He
sure did.
Plate umpire Andy Fletcher signals a strike.
Here they go. We told you when this inning started, the Royals have been a very good team from the 7th inning on. Boy, they come right out of the chute and put 3 on the board.
High fly ball, deep right center field,
6.
and that baby is long gone. Kendry Morales caps a 6-run 7th for Kansas City with a 3-run blast. And the Royals now lead it 9-5.
Well, let's check out the slider here by Shaw and the location of it. Boy, it stays middle of the plate. Watch, if you watch Hayes' glove come back over, he's going to meet the barrel of the bat before it gets there, and it goes deep into right center field, and it's a 6-run 7th for the Royals, and they've opened this one up.
Alex Gordon takes a strike.
Morales, his 3rd homer and his 3rd hit of the game.
Up and away. Broke his bat, popped up, foul ground. Santana. Royals send 9 men to the plate. They score 6 times to take a 9-5 lead. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. (9-5) Kansas City. Our Yellowwood bringing the lumber tonight. Michael Brantley's been bringing it. Doubled his first time up. Hit a scorching line drive that was snared by Alcides Escobar in the 3rd. And then last time up, he blistered a single into right field. To pitch here in the bottom of the 7th for Kansas City, it's Chris Young. Big right-hander, 6'10". He's been a starter his whole career, but now Kansas City's looking at him either as a long man or maybe a spot starter.
Right, he's spot starter. You know, he had a good year with Seattle last year. Pretty good year pitching out in that ballpark. He's a fly ball pitcher.
Hit 12 wins last year with a 3.65 ERA for the Mariners. Made his major league debut back in 2004, so he's been around a while. He's pitched to the Rangers, the Padres, the Mets, Mariners, and now Kansas City.
And when you look at him, he's mid-80s, 86, 87, and he's fastball. He's 6'10". So, I mean, you're figuring you got to be able to hit him. But for whatever reason, I don't know if he delivers it so close to the plate. Little breaking ball, it seems like he gets guys out, he jams them, he gets them to pop up, gets a lot of fly balls.
Yeah, the first time you see the guy walk out on the mound, you're thinking, oh, this guy's going to throw it about 150 miles an hour. He's never been a hard thrower, though. Big
and what's
bouncer.
he get? A ground ball, first batter.
1 away. Mazda game break time. Here's Al.
Hey, Matt, let's head to New York where the Yankees taking on the Rays. New York was ahead in the bottom of the first inning, 2-0. But here in the top of the third, our old friend Asdrubal Cabrera, an RBI double to cut the lead in half. It's now 2-1 Yankees. They're in the bottom of the fifth at Yankee Stadium, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. Carlos Santana with 2 walks on the night and a run scored. Santana looks at a called strike. Royals employ 3-man shift right side of the infield. And Santana taking all the way here. The count evens up. Is that going to float in? Diving attempt by Dyson. He doesn't get there. That was absolutely perfectly placed. Seems like there's 6 guys playing in the outfield there, and he landed it just over the head of Infante and right in front of Gerard Dyson.
Yeah, it looked like it was in slow motion that you couldn't have thrown it out there any better. Yeah, falls in.
So the Indians have a man on with 1 out, and as promised earlier, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Brandon Moss time back in the 6th inning with a 3-run homer. And at that point, it gave the Indians a 5-3 lead. Now trying to come back again are the Indians. Moss way out in front of it. And that's in the dirt. Perez with a scoop. Chris Young delivers, and that's popped up right at home plate. Salvador Perez ditches the mask and makes the catch. 2 down. It's going to bring up Ryan Rayburn. Chris Young, not only does he stand out because of his height at 6'10", but he's far from your typical big league ball player. First of all, he went to Princeton. They don't exactly churn out a ton of baseball players in the big leagues, but picked up his degree in 4 years, played both baseball and basketball.
Yeah, hoops. Yeah.
Pitches outside. The 1-0 pitch. Rayburn sends a high drive left field. Gordon back, says I've got room on the track, and makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, a hit, a man left. We'll go to the 8th. 9-5 Kansas City. Authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. Al and Jensen we'll have the highlights and analysis from down near the corner bar. Anthony Swarzak coming on to pitch the 8th for Cleveland. Swarzak will have the bottom third of the Royals' order to contend with. His 8th appearance on the year.
I guess it doesn't matter because it was the bottom third that started last inning off, where they ended up getting 6 runs.
Yeah, Perez and Infante with back-to-back hits, and the train started rolling.
And you look at the last 2 nights. In the 7th inning for Kansas City, they've scored 9 runs on 9 hits. And Cleveland has made 2 errors in the 7th inning.
Perez 1 out of 3 on the night, 2 for 6 in the series, and it's up high, ball 1. Broke his bat, line to left, and Brantley can't get there. He short hops it. And Perez aboard with his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, they have 13 hits again tonight. You go back to that 7th inning, Matt, and here's Escobar. 3-2 pitch, got him a fastball down and out over the plate. He missed his location there, and then Moustakas, nothing you could do here. Zapchinski just doesn't touch the bag. And in turn, Escobar comes around, kicks the ball out of the glove of Hayes, and then a hanging breaking ball for a 3-pointer. And that made it a 6th run, 7th inning for Kansas City.
Omar Infante double play ball to Kipnis. He goes to Ramirez for 1, back to first. The Tribe turns 2. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Trevor Bauer went out there tonight. Again, just to reiterate, he was sick on Saturday. And obviously, he went out there on a lot of guts and determination and not up to normal physical standards. But, man, he turned in a tremendous performance. He gave you an opportunity. 6 innings, 3 runs allowed, walked 2, struck out a pair, 7 hits given up. But really have to applaud his efforts.
Yeah, he was on the hook to be the winning pitcher. You know, he was on the docket. He left the ball game. It was 5-3 in favor of the Tribe. And if you remember in his last start in Chicago, he was up 3-0 going into the 9th, and the bullpen gave it up in his start. So it's back-to-back starts for Bauer that the bullpen has given up runs. Yeah. And he had a no decision.
Pitch inside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, this ball club is certainly being tested early on this year. And their resolve has been tested. This is game 19. They've had injuries to deal with, illness to deal with. Had to juggle the rotation several times. But, hey, those aren't problems unique to the Indians. There are a lot of other clubs, including this one here in Kansas City, that have had to deal with players that they were counting on that haven't been available. But in spite, or I should say, take all that stuff and put it aside, just on what's happened between the lines, the Indians, they've been tested. They've had some strange things happen. We talked about the game in Minnesota. And
one in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to sit back and say, well, it's just not our year. You can't just chalk it up to that 19 games into the season. But I have to believe mentally it does wear on the players at some point. to where they go, when are we going to catch a break? When is this thing going to start falling our way?
You make your own breaks. That's what you do. You can't sit down, feel sorry for yourself. And right now, you can see when you look at the body language out between the lines, you can see it. They came back, they fought back, they responded in the 6th inning to take the lead. And, the bullpen doesn't hold it with this Kansas City team. And I mentioned it, that's why you're only as good as your bullpen, your offense. The bullpen is only as good as your offense. Well, this offense knows if they get their bullpen runs at the right time, it's over with. So they don't quit.
If I seem to recall, I want to say it might have been in 07, the Indians had a tremendous bullpen that year, and it's not that they didn't have great arms, but it was the ability to score late which made that bullpen so much better. Whether it was turn a 1-run lead into a 2 or 3-run lead so you give them a little more cushion, or flip the tables and turn a deficit into a lead and give them an opportunity to close it out, whatever the case was.
Give them the opportunity.
Oh. Two-strike pitch coming to Escobar, and he lines one up the gut. Dyson hits second. He'll stop right there. Third hit here in the 8th for Kansas City.
I mean, they have 15 hits tonight. They had 13 hits last night. They're leading the league coming into the game tonight with a batting average of .297. It may be .300 by the time we wake up tomorrow.
Well, Trevor Bauer had done his best to hold Kansas City at bay. But that 7th inning, the Royals took it out on 3 different Indians relievers. They'll pile up a 6th spot. Mike Moustakas, who has 2 hits tonight, 6 hits now in the series. To first, but foul. Yeah, the big crooked numbers. I mean, it worked well for the Indians when they were in Detroit, when they had the big inning. But here tonight, it went the other way. It was a 6-run 5th inning for Cleveland in that game against Detroit. One ball, one strike for Moustakas. Gerard Dyson, the runner at second base, causing Swarzak to step off.
Well, actually, Ramirez caused him to step off because he came into second base. I don't think that Dyson is going anywhere. He would have been long gone. There's 2 outs.
Moustakas chases one up the ladder, 1-2. Swarzak taking a long look in. Runners take off, and a foul out of play to the left. Dyson bolted for third, and then in accordance, Escobar was about a step or 2 behind him, but then he took off for second. It's always imperative for the guy behind to make sure the guy's going.
Yeah. That's why sometimes you'll see people throw through to second base to go get the guy, because he has to make sure the guy on second's going to go and doesn't stop.
Here they go again. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Inning over. We'll head now to the bottom of the 8th. 9-5 KC. 9-5 Kansas City. And here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Jason Frazier will come on now to pitch. He'll be the 4th different pitcher for Kansas City. For the Tribe, Lonnie Chisenhall, Brett Hayes, Michael Bourne due up. Lonnie Chisenhall tonight 2 for 3. Both of his hits have gone to left field. He's also scored a run. Tribe down 4 in the bottom of the 8th. And the pitch outside, ball 1.
Frazier, another veteran, came in and did a nice job for him coming out of the bullpen. He's been around, but he's a veteran. You can count on him.
Fastball down at the knees.
You know, when they have the back end and they're healthy, this guy, you get him out in the 6th inning. You know, when they have their three-headed monster working, is awfully tough.
Lonnie fouls it into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I remember him coming up back in 2004 with Toronto. Pitched there for many years. Then Chicago White Sox, Texas, then Kansas City last year. He was both started with Texas, went to Kansas City.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who's kind of defied the odds, so to speak, and that he's 5'9". You know, they always talk about, well, if a right-hander's not at least 6 feet, we're not interested.
Yeah. He's been around a long time, coming out of the bullpen and helping a lot of ball clubs. Here's a line drive back up the middle. It's not got down on the trademark, but Frazier had a pretty good beat on it. Able to pick it in midair.
I was trying to get their hands warm with the overhead heaters. Brett Hayes 0 for 3 tonight. He has lined out, struck out, and popped up on the infield. Takes in there for a strike. Frazier has come out throwing strikes, which is what he normally does. Hayes down the line, foul territory, and out of play. Now, I remember asking, hadn't been around baseball that long, not professional baseball, and I remember asking whether it was a coach or a scout or GM or somebody in the front office, you know, what is it about the right-handers and why they have to be a certain height, under 6 feet? Why? Remember the conversation was all about leveraging the ball downhill. That's been a familiar theme for a long time in baseball, and that right there is not, a lot of right-handers, because they have to generate so much momentum, they cut under the ball, and if you're not very tall, that ball sometimes ends up being right in the wheelhouse of a lot of big league hitters. But you get a guy who can do it consistently, like Frazier, like the guy used to be with Atlanta, Kimbrel.
I mean, he throws 98.
Hayes strikes out, 2 down. In-game box score tonight brought to you by Hyundai. Jose Ramirez came up with a hit for the Indians tonight in the 5th inning, but unfortunately did not lead to a run. Michael Brantley with a double and 4 trips scored a run. Brandon Moss, the big 3-run homer, and Michael Bourne had a big 2-out, 2-run single.
Well, they made it a 6-inning game, and they came back to take the lead. It's just, I guess the story of the night is that bullpen couldn't hold it.
Kansas City has been the irresistible force. Coming into tonight, you could say they've been both the irresistible force and the immovable object because they led the league in offense and pitching.
Right. Yeah, with ERA and batting average. You're right. That's a pretty good combination to have.
Out of play to the left. Oh, and 2 the count on Bourne with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. And Frazier misses off the plate. That bounced in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bourne, in addition to the 2-out 2-run hit in the second inning, stole a base. He also walked back in the 6th. And a foul back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bourne has collected 3 doubles so far on the year, yet to get his first triple. He tied for the league lead last year with 10 of those. Here's a fly ball hit to deep right field. Dyson sprinting back onto the track, makes the catch about a stride and a half in front of the wall to end the inning. Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the 9th. 9-5 Kansas City.
All right, stay tuned after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Alan Jensen will bring it to you as we wrap it up here, going into the top of the 9th now. Swarzak remains in the ball game, and Kansas City leads at 9-5. It'll be Kane, Hosmer, Morales, the scheduled hitters. Kane does not have a hit tonight. 0 for 3, intentional walk in the 7th inning. before the 3-run homer by Morales.
Chases a breaking ball low and away. I guess that's the one thing you look at with Kansas City, especially the way they came in here, leading the league in hitting. There's no pressure on any one guy because up and down the lineup, everybody is chipping in and doing their part.
Well, when you're going well as a ball club, which they are, you believe in each other, and that's the confidence you have to have. You trust your teammates. So you pick everybody up. When things are going your way, it's fun to play. It's a confidence thing. You believe in each other. Boy, when you're struggling, and every team goes through it throughout the course of the year, believe me, these Royals will go through a point where they're struggling.
Yeah, let's not forget, as that ball's hammered to deep left and off the wall, Brantley plays it awfully well, but nothing he can do to keep Hosmer from going in with a double. I mean, let's not forget that Kansas City stumbled their way through much of last year.
Yeah.
They got hot at just the right time and rode that wave of momentum, and they continue to play with that same kind of confidence that came from that run. But it wasn't that long ago people were looking at Kansas City like, wow, but why these guys just can't get it going? They can't. That's all you heard about Kansas City.
Well, they've got a confidence. The way they finished that year and the things that have happened, they believe in it. And they've added a couple of pieces, and here's one of them, a veteran hitter in the middle part of that lineup to separate some of the kids, the Canes, the Hosmers, the Gordons. You know, he sits in the middle as a switch hitter instead of Billy Butler, who was one of their guys. They decided to let him walk. They bring in Morales, and I'll tell you what, he's swinging the bat very well and off to a good start. He's got 3 hits tonight, scored 3, and driven in 3.
Right back to Swarzak, and he's got Hosmer hung up.
Get rid of it and run him back.
And put the tag on him. 2 down. Time now for the Pat O'Brien play of the game, and this was a big blast for Kansas City. Henry Morales capped a 6-run 7th. With that 3-run homer, his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, that was a 6-5 game at that point. And you figured, okay, they got to get out of it here. They couldn't do it. And that 3-pointer just opened the floodgates here.
Bounced in front of the plate. Yeah, you know, you look back at a year ago. And this Kansas City Royals club, as late as July 21st, was 2 games under 500 and 8 games out of first. So they were just kind of waffling along, and, you know, people were just looking at them like, yeah, same old Royals. But then something clicked, and they absolutely took off. Missed inside. And even after they got hot last year, they came to Cleveland at the end of August, and the Indians swept them. But they quickly put that behind them and ran off with the month of September. 3-1 pitch. And then Gordon takes ball 4. And up comes Salvador Perez, who's 2 for 4 tonight. 3 hits in the series. This is his 3rd at bat in the last 3 innings, by the way.
Yeah, 5th at bat in the game. Yeah, he hit in the 7th. Actually led that 7th inning off with a single on the first pitch.
And led off the 8th with a base hit. Now he's up again in the ninth with 2 on and 2 out. Not a save situation with a 4-run lead for Kansas City, and they could potentially really blow it open with a hit here. Look out, Perez, deep left field, off the wall. Scoring is Morales. Gordon's going to stop at third, and Perez going to hold with a long 2-out RBI single. 3 straight innings, 3 straight hits for Salvador Perez, and it's now 10-5 Kansas City.
Well, he goes down and hits this fastball and smokes it off the wall. Played nicely by Brantley because he only gets a single. You thought it was going to go out of the ballpark. It did not. So it is now 17 hits for the Royals, and they just keep on adding on.
Omar Infante, 2 for 4 tonight with a single, a double, and an RBI, plus a run scored. Low and away. The 1-1 low and away as Omar Infante works himself ahead in the count. Infante lines one to right field near the line, slicing foul by about a foot or so. So he'll come back and try again.
Slicing down the right field line, and it gets into the dirt. Down into the corner by about a couple of feet.
Upstairs. And a full count. Swarzak pitched around some traffic in the 8th inning. Keep the Royals off the board, but unable to get the third out here before Kansas City adds to their lead. And now they're looking for more. Payoff pitch to center field, blooped, and that's going to drop. Scoring is Gordon.
Jams him. He fights it off. That's 3 hits for Infante.
Now to the mound goes Mickey Callaway. Now Kansas City has been able to do whatever they've needed to in the series. Last night, they played from in front. Indians came and tied the game, and then they pulled away. Tonight, they took the early lead. The Indians came back and took the lead away. Kansas City tied it. Then the Indians went back in front, and then the Royals just blew it wide open.
They turned it into a laugher
with the big inning. Gerard Dyson batting again. Fouls it out of play. chopped up the middle. Kipnis is there. He'll take it himself. Ends the inning. Royals tack on 2 more. 11-5 KC as we go to the bottom of the 9th. All right, let's look back at our keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Match the KC energy. Well, I thought the Indians did. They came out with some fight, came out with some fire, came back, took the lead, were in position, but they could not hold the lead. And whether it's the Royals offense, which is rolling, or the Indians bullpen, which couldn't hold them down, that was the combination that did them in tonight.
Well, they came out in a hurry and responded on that Indians bullpen. And I'll tell you what, it's happened a lot this year where the response runs normally where they're shut down and they slam it down. They haven't done it this year. The Indians bullpen is, as far as response runs go, it's tough because when you get to KC late in the game and you've got a lead, you better shut it down. Johan Pino coming on for the 3rd time. Fifth pitcher for the Royals tonight.
Top of the order for Cleveland, Kipnis, Ramirez, and Brantley. Kipnis was nicked by a pitch back in the 6th inning. Johan Pino lets it fly, and Kipnis takes a strike over the inside corner. Down and in. The 2-1. And he swung over the top of it. And the count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little bit low, full count. The payoff pitch to Kipnis. Strike 3 called. 1 down on the bottom of the 9th. Jose Ramirez 1 for 4 on the night. And Pino with a fastball in for strike one. And now Pino gets ahead of ball and 2 strikes. 10,698 the attendance here tonight. It was much better at game time than it was last night, but as we get later, you can still feel that chill in the air.
Yeah, well, it's not bad tonight, though.
54 at game time, which, like I said, that wasn't too bad with the sun out, clear skies. 2-2. It was borderline and ball 3, full count. Now the payoff pitch. Hit in the air to right field. Back goes Dyson. Onto the track again. He makes a catch. Couple of strides shy of the wall, 2 away. Johan Pino winds it up, and the pitch to Brantley is popped up. Shallow left. In comes Gordon. And he will make the catch. The Indians go 1-2-3 as the Royals bullpen retires the final 8 in a row. And the news from Progressive Field is not good as the Indians lose for the 4th straight time. And they're now off to their worst start after 19 games in over 20 years. You have to go back to 1992, the last time the Indians started off a season 6-13. But that's where they stand tonight after the Royals beat them 11-5. Kansas City, on the other hand, is 14-6, and at least for the moment, tied for the top spot in the American League Central Division. The winning pitcher, Brandon Finnegan. The loser is Scott Atchison. And the Indians will try to avoid the sweep as they play the series finale tomorrow night. Again, it's a 6 o'clock start here at Progressive Field as Danny Salazar will go for the Tribe against Yordano Ventura. So that's going to do it. We'll be back with Indians Live presented by Conrad's right after this.